Hello, Facebook world. This is round two. Denise, thank you for your patience, and for everybody that's logging in. And you've seen our epic fail, my epic fail. I need to take ownership of it here. But hey, it's Thursday, and we are truly live. And I am really thankful for a chance to be with you today, and this wonderful opportunity to spend some time with business leader Denise Longtin. She has been a tremendous addition over the last couple of years to our community and having wonderful success. And we feel like you need to get to know Denise. You need to get to know her, sort of the background motivations and you know what she's after, and a little bit about the process that's allowing her to enjoy this success, and her team. But I'm going to give her a chance to do those elaborations. So Denise, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I appreciate you allowing us to jump in here today and spend some time with you. First thing I want to say is congratulations on your success. You have had, I mean, it's been a great couple of years since you joined us, but it really feels like the last 6 months, your business has just really exploded and sort of taken that Northeast by storm, maybe is the way to say it. But of course, you're spread across the country. So congratulations on your success, and great work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm actually, I have a spectacular team, and I'm super proud of all of them. We're all going to be hanging out pretty soon in a few weeks with you on the beach in Acapulco, and several of them have won or earned, I should say, their land package, and I'm super proud of everybody.
Yeah. I think when I looked, it was yourself and I think 5 others, if I'm not mistaken, that have earned a portion or all of their trips. So that's great. And knowing that a fair number of your team are located in the Northeast, it's going to be a nice break from the weather. I don't know if you've done this, but I've actually loaded Akamal on my weather app on my phone. So I've been checking, and it's like 80, 82 by day, 69, 72 at night. It seems pretty ideal right now.
It does, for sure. It's like a 70-degree difference for me. So
That's a big one. That's a big one. So if you don't mind, and we would invite you to be as personal about this as you want to, we'd love to hear about your background and maybe how that informs or plays a role in your motivation for the efforts that you make.
Sure. Well, I got to go back a bit.
Please.
I'm a wife and mom of 3 boys, and I now have 2 grandchildren. But back in the day, 3 boys, I left a job to stay home with the kids, and my youngest son was the primary motivation for that because he has significant special needs and he needed a lot of care. So I left a job to stay home, and that's great, but that comes with a little bit of extra financial pressure, and the house we lived in at the time was not really modifiable, and we quickly realized in order to keep him at home, we were going to have to build an accessible home. And that's when I kind of got introduced to the direct selling industry, which was really a life changer for me because it not only gave me the financial piece that I needed to help my family build the home that we needed, but it allowed me to set my own schedule and work around my family's needs, specifically my son with all the needs, as he was pretty sick all the time. So it was a life changer, and I'm so grateful for that. But things change, time flies, and life happens, right? And
Yeah.
So flash ahead a bunch of years, and about 2 years ago, a little more, I was facing down a cancer diagnosis. And not too long after that, my husband also was diagnosed with cancer. And I actually lost both my parents in close proximity to that time of cancer as well. And I thought to myself, something's really got to change here because I'm not having this. So I had a conversation with my friend Lisa, who was telling me about these incredible health products, health and nutrition products from Touchstone. And I, at the time, was now open to hearing that because I knew I had to make some changes. And from all of my research, I knew that nutrition could really be the game changer that people need for anything from, disease to aches and pains to just a healthy, happy life. So I started using the products, and the more I learned, the more excited I became. These products are, non-GMO and vegan and organic and everything I was looking for, but kind of hard to find. And I just learned so much and got so excited. Not only did I feel good, but my family started to feel good. And what I saw was an incredible opportunity now for me to not only improve my family's physical health, but our financial health as well. And I could then share that goodness with everybody else and be able to, help other people do the same. And you know what? At the end of the day, for me at least, that's really what we're looking for, right? Health, wealth, and happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're the epitome of someone that makes it all happen. And so, folks, I've been to Denise's home, and it's a hub of sort of family. Nicholas is there, and he's getting the care that he needs, and the rest of the family, and Denise is sort of at the center orchestrating and making it all happen, and at the same time developing a business that at this point, if we had to do some kind of equivalency for people to think about, in the last couple of years, Denise has built a business that's the equivalent of if she had been able to put $500,000 in an income generating asset and she was drawing residual income from that. Now just kind of think about that for a second. For most people, saving $500,000 in a couple year period of time would not be very easy. And yet she's able to meet the needs of her family. And we're certainly happy, from the health reports that you've given us and the things you're seeing happen. So congratulations on all of that. I mean, it's part of what motivates us and gets us up each day at Touchstone. So in your journey, how do you balance it? Tell me about that, because of all the people I know, I can say without question, you have the busiest, most demanding life. And it isn't like that life is demanded by things that are frivolous. It is demanded by literally life issues. And so how do you do that? How are you able to make all that happen?
People ask me that a lot, and sometimes when you're in it, you don't exactly know. But because I've been asked that question a lot, I have given it some thought. And what I realized is I've done some research and I've looked up things like how do you balance? Like I'm trying to figure that out amidst all the craziness in my life. And what I've realized is the most balanced is unbalanced, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
So you have all these little areas of your life that need your attention, but you cannot split yourself into 10 pieces, obviously, because each piece deserves 100% of you.
Yeah.
And if you're only given 10% here and 10% here, it doesn't work out so well. So you kind of have to separate them into sections, if that makes any sense. And you give 100% of yourself here for this time period, and then you turn over here and you give 100% of yourself here for this time period, and so on and so forth. So when one piece is really hot and rolling, another piece is just kind of on the back burner for a minute, and then you switched over. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And the ability and the discipline to manage that, it's a big deal. And the one thing I've recognized in getting to know you is you're not bothered by whatever else is going on in somebody else's life. If they're interested, not interested, you've got your agenda and you just do a great job with it. So tell me a little bit about, that gives us a little bit of the background and sort of how you manage those things by compartmentalizing. Where is this going for you? Do you have any sort of long-term vision about what you see here?
Yeah, it's a big one. I get get so excited when I think about this business because of the aspect of health and what I see out in the world. And you know, I've had other businesses and I've had some decent success, but not the same, because when I'm out there, whether I'm talking to friends or family or total strangers at the grocery store or wherever, health always comes up. I hardly ever have a conversation with someone who isn't talking about some issue they have, whether it's physical health or emotional health or health of their family, and the stress of it all. And it's so confusing out there. Where do you go? There's this diet and that diet and this, you know, you're seeing this in the news and that in the news. And it's just so overwhelming. You don't know what to think. And I really am so excited about what we have at Touchstone, because it's kind of taken it all and really simplified it so that no matter what it is that you're doing, you can add in some really great nutrition to increase your physical health, help with your emotional health, and then we have an opportunity to also help with your financial health. So I just get really filled up when I can share that message with everyone, you know, and it's so impactful. And I have some really big goals because I want to do big things. And a lot of my goals have to do with people on my team, because I'm watching people change their lives before my very eyes, not just physically, but emotionally and financially. And that just brings me the greatest joy.
Yeah. Well, it's very inspirational. And for us to play a small part by being a platform for you to stand on, it's a big deal. And it's important to us. And so we're excited about our chance to work with you to cause that to happen. So let's get a little practical here, because one thing I know from sort of being on the other side of viewing something like this, people want to know, well, how do you do it, right? So we see that you've got some strong motivations there and beliefs, and you've had some success, and you have figured out through some discipline and commitment how to manage your time. So what is it that you do? So you said you talked to someone and they express some kind of interest, or they're open, or whatever you want to call it. So what happens then if somebody expresses interest? If you don't mind, as granularly as you can, what are the steps that you follow?
Well, you know what? It's really more simple than you think. Because people say to me all the time, oh my gosh, well, I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you, but I can't do that because I'm not you. Well, I hope you're not me, because there's only one me, and you got to be yourself. But the truth is that this is so simple, because we have not just an incredible product, but we have an incredible system in our back office, and it's loaded with information. You don't have to know all of this. You don't have to know everything about health or about products even, because it's all there. It's all there for you. And what I find is that it's really almost not necessary for me to share too much detail with people, because people really need to take charge of their own health and learn the information on their own. So I send a link. I mean, we have links to everything, you guys. It's very simple. You want to know about, CBD oil? We have a link for that. You want to know about, how to increase your energy? I can share an article that will help you and give you some information. I could tell you the information because I've learned a lot over these years. But if you're new and you don't know that information, no worries. And besides, even if I could share the information, you're only hearing it from me. And I encourage people, hey, don't even believe me. Go check it out for yourself. Take ownership, because we have a lot more power than we think with our health, which is both awesome and scary, because then it makes it a little harder to make excuses.
It does, right? At the same time, it's empowering. It's also that way. So, all right, let me make sure that we're kind of quantifying and hearing what you're saying. So you've developed a conversation or something with someone, and they have an interest. And once you understand that interest, maybe it's in the form of a question, you're sending a link, right? You're linking off the website, or perhaps it's something off the resource page, or maybe even something off one of our social media environments. Yeah.
That's where all the information is. And like I said, I can tell them, and sometimes I do because, I'm a little chatty Cathy.
That's okay.
I'm so excited. I just want to share. I want to assist. But the truth is, for people to really make a difference for themselves, they not only have to hear what I tell them, because that's part of the problem, in my opinion. You go into the grocery store trying to make healthier decisions, and you are bombarded with some really clever marketing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that companies are out there to trick you exactly. They're trying to sell their product, and they're taking information that is people are looking for, and they're labeling it as such that you believe that this product is healthy. It might not be horribly bad, but healthy is not really where it's at. So how are you gonna change that? And the only way to do that is for people to learn and take ownership of themselves and know that they can make a difference, and they can just learn on their own, and we have help for that.
Yeah. So I know a little bit of the background on Denise's process here. And so just to make sure everybody really hears what she's saying, she's making sure that she's not confused with the message, right? You want to be the messenger, but you don't want to put yourself in being the message. And so I've seen her in action, thankfully. And when someone asks about products, what she says is, hey, here's what I'm using, and here's why I'm using it, rather than trying to get into the detail about the product. And what's empowering about that is that's just everybody's individual experience, right? They all have motivations. So that's fantastic. Now, are there any sort of attributes to the follow-up system, whether it's gift cards or three-way calls, or are there any other components that kind of come into this? Let's say somebody looks at the little 3-minute video that sort of describes the company, and then you send them, or they're on that VBO page, right? They look at the comp video. What comes after that for you? What's the follow-up environment look like?
Well, I like to follow up with people and find out what is it that they loved about it. What did you love about that? I want to know what kind of trips their trigger. Where are they looking to make the most impact for their life, whether it's health or wealth, right? And then I try to answer questions from there, which may mean that I'm going to connect them with somebody else to speak with on the phone, which is pretty simple. Again, I don't have to know a whole lot. Or I'm going to then give them another link with other additional information that they're looking for. So it is a really simple process. And you know what? Do I hear no? Of course I do.
Sure.
No, we have great stuff, but not everybody's ready for that message. It's sometimes an overwhelming, the prospect of change is overwhelming. And I think we all kind of know inside ourselves what we need, but sometimes we're just not ready for that message. So, some people aren't ready for it, and that's totally fine, because when they are, they know where to find me.
Yeah. There's genius in that little statement right there, right? I've often found that a person saying no most likely just means no, not now. It doesn't mean no forever. And
I don't quite have enough information.
Yeah. And I tend to think, unfortunately, we're so marketed to that we tend to be jaded. And when it sounds good, we're like, oh, I don't know. That sounds too good to be true, right? I mean, it's sort of a dynamic. Yeah. Well, listen, we appreciate you giving us 20 minutes of your time. We know how valuable it is, right? From all the things going on in your world. Is there anything sort of, as you're closing out here, any attributes about what you do or what you've observed on the success of your team that you think might be important for someone to hear that's really trying to clear their path and enjoy success, perhaps at a greater rate? Or is anything in particular you might point towards?
I think a couple things. First of all, I think it's important, whether in business or your personal life or whatever, remember this is a journey, right? So to always be open to learn, whether you're going to learn from an article or from somebody else, maybe somebody, you know, in the business world who is further ahead than you, maybe somebody brand new who you can still learn from, I'm here to tell you. So that's one thing. The other thing is persistence, because it's hard sometimes, you know, the monkey brain starts happening. That's why we can see oil, incidentally. But the monkey brain starts happening, and all of those little things that you have thought about yourself over time, sometimes all pile in there, and then you think, oh, I don't know, maybe I should. And it's so easy to quit, you guys. It's so easy, but don't do it, because you're almost there, and it doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you're moving forward. Just keep plugging away, because that really, I find in my years in this industry, the people who are successful are the people who don't stop. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the long and short of it.
Yeah, that's brilliant advice. I hear what you're saying. I think I've learned over time in reading biographies of really successful people we look at and we think, oh my God, it's all perfect in their world. But they talk about that self-doubt that you're speaking to, or even wondering, do I deserve it? Right? So we're all the same in that regard. It's just our ability to turn that volume down on those kinds of feelings and press ahead like you're describing. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you, and I'm glad it won't be in Skinny Atlas. I'm glad it will be in Mexico, where it will be nice and warm, and we can enjoy a cerveza or something like that. And so, Denise, congratulations again to you and the organization. You're doing just great stuff. We're so proud and humbled that you're a part of the team, and thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you. I was honored that you had me.
Yeah. All right, Facebook, we love you. Go out there and make this week the best week it can possibly be. And we'll be back with you next week at this time with another edition with a wonderful leader. So thanks, everybody. Bye for now.